Tuesday, 7:30, which means we talk to the head man from LSU football, Coach Ed Ogeron. Coach, what's going on, man? How you feeling on this competition Tuesday?
Good morning, guys. We're ready to go, man. Open up SEC play. Our team is fired up to have a good week of practice and start the SEC play on the right foot.
Coach, before we look forward, let's look back a little bit. I want to ask you about the growth from your coordinators over these first three games, right? It feels like offensively, each and every week there's been very clear points of correction that you have then seen in the next game. Defensively as well, there's been improvements, still too many MAs ideally, but like on the whole, some pretty great defensive play. How do you feel that your young signal callers have evolved these first 3 weeks?
Well, first of all, they're very loyal. They're hardworking. They're in the office all the time trying to fix things, doing it the right way. They listen to suggestions that I make. And I thought last week we made the biggest jump. We're not there yet, but we made a big jump on offense and defense.
Real quick on the defense, Coach, because as I said, it's the defensive performance, especially the last couple of games, have been, like kind of sheer dominance with a couple of just bad gaffes, right? What is the key to cutting down on some of those missed assignments defensively?
I just think just communication, knowing the down and distance, knowing the coverage, knowing our assignment, and communicating. And there's very few of them right now, but those that we miss are very glaring, and we have to stop that. We're going to be challenged this week. I think keeping it simple for our guys, knowing their keys, and they know their assignment on every down.
Coach, obviously the defensive line has been a strength all season long here in this early season, and they've really picked up multiple sacks in every single game and been dominant at times. Now with Andre Anthony being out for the year, and we talked about it, Coach, we know how heartbreaking that is for the entire team. Moving Mason Smith out to defensive end, getting Ali Gay back at some point right as well. What do you kind of see that rotation looking like?
Well, first of all, let me say something about Andre Anthony. He's been here with me since the beginning. Yeah. He's been very instrumental in helping us build a championship program. He's a great young man. He's a great leader for us, and we're going to miss him sorely. Having Ali Gay, having Mason Smith, having B.J. Ujulari, we're going to rotate those three guys. We're going to find out which one can play left and right the best and have a three-man rotation.
Coach, as far as Mason Smith, I mean, he's just so massive, right, that it looked like he would have fit into the interior, and he was fitting in the interior. He was great out there. What changes, or how do you think his skill set translates to playing on the edge?
T-Bob, I think he's a prototypical left end, the left end in the NFL. Most NFL teams are right-handed. That's where they're going to run the football. That's where the tight end is going to be. And I think he's just what you're looking for. He's big, he's agile. He plays on a tight end, can handle a tight end, can handle double teams, and has enough athletic ability to play on the edge. Now, playing inside was good for him, but he's so tall. Taking on those double teams was a little tough for him.
Yeah, and as far as the guys playing inside, Coach, you've seen some guys step up. Jacoby Guillory starting to make some plays. Yeah. Obviously, you always talk about Joseph Evans and one. How do you feel about the development of your interior guys right now?
Yeah, really pleased. They played their best. I thought Joe played his best game. I thought Neil Farrell is playing at a high level right now. Jaquelin Roy is becoming the dominant player that we all thought he could be. Yeah. And Jacoby Guillory is probably growing the most. We have a four-man rotation right there we feel really good about.
What's the status on Glenn Logan, Coach?
I think Glenn Logan may be back next week. I think he's got one more week to go, and he's running right now, and maybe be able to play next week. I'm not sure yet, but I talked to him yesterday. He thinks he's going to be back next week.
Coach, you and I have had the conversation about how now freshmen can truly walk into college football and play at a higher level than 10 years ago, just the way that the circuit has kind of come with 707 and different things during the summertime at the high school level. But, Coach, I mean, these freshmen on offense, and we could list 10 of them, but Corey Kiner and Deion Smith and Jack Besh, I mean, not only guys that are out there, but guys that are making game-changing plays.
Yeah, those guys came in ready to go. Very impressive since the day they got on campus. Great job of our guys recruiting them and identifying them. Some are 5-stars, some are 4-stars, some are 3-stars. It's all about the evaluation. You look at Jack Best, he was committed to Vanderbilt. We watched him on a Friday night in a recruiting meeting. Our whole staff said, go get him. We called him that night, offered him a scholarship from Louisiana. It's going to be a great player for us. Deion Smith was the #1 player in the state of Mississippi. Shea Hodge, who I coached, recommended he come here. Great young man. And then Corey Conley, you got to give the credit to Kevin Falk. Kevin Falk did a tremendous job of recruiting Corey Conley and Almighty Goodwin, another great freshman running back.
Coach, do you feel a little I mean, I know you've been asked this a million times, but do you feel anything extra going into this game? And just, I mean, given last year and how it started and with the defense and the air raid and all that, like, do you think your guys in that locker room feel like they owe this team some revenge?
You know, I think when you look at revenge and stuff like that, I think it's the wrong way. Sometimes that can work against you, you know what I'm saying? But I do believe that our antennas are up. Our respect for them is up. We know the damage that they did to us last year, and we couldn't stop them. So I think that raised the level of awareness that we got to get better. We know what we got to stop. We know what they can do to us. So the level of respect is a lot higher this year going into the game. I think that's going to help us.
And you know, we were talking about defensive scheme earlier, Coach, and kind of just figuring out defensively and cutting down on some of the MAs. And like you look at the UCLA, I know some of UCLA's play action was used to great effect. Maybe not the biggest threat here, but like what kind of scheme lessons have you learned thus far with Durante Jones' first few games do you think will carry over into Saturday?
Yeah, first of all, I think the first thing is about keys. About giving our players the right key in practice that they're going to see in the game. And it's got to be exact. And, you know, you see a little, you see a lot. You see a lot, you see nothing. And our guys need to have great eye discipline. They need to know what they're looking at. My guy does this, I do this. I think that's how you play football. Number one, I think that the diversity that we have in this scheme, you know, we've been practicing for Mississippi State and been looking at their offense for a while, is going to give us a chance to do multiple things against them if we get hurt, as opposed to last year staying the same defense.
Hey, Coach, one more guy, because all the things you just said, I had Jay Ward in my mind, right? And the UCLA game was even different when he was in the game. I mean, it was punt, punt, punt.
Right.
This is somebody that I know is a leader of the defense. He's a game changer at safety. Any update on his health?
Yeah, he practiced in a gold jersey yesterday. He looks like he's going to play. He hasn't had contact yet, but all indications are that he's going to be ready to go.
Okay, love to hear that, Coach. How about this? Out there at left tackle, Cam Wire's been out. Xavier Hill played. I kind of like what I saw to Garrett Dellinger. It was a limited window, but he looked pretty solid out there. What's the availability of Wire, and what's the plans for left tackle?
You know, I challenged the team yesterday. I challenged the offensive line yesterday. Our left tackle play was not LSU standard performance, and we need to get better. And a lot of young guys had a chance. But, you know, they're young guys. They're going to learn how to play, but nowhere near the level of performance that we needed at LSU. So that's up for grabs. We're going to try Anthony Bradford out there, Garrett Dellinger. Maybe Cam Wire can play. He has not practiced yet. He's still questionable. But that position is up in the air right now.
Coach, one last position I want to ask you about, and I know we're going across the board, so we do appreciate it, is Michael Baskerville playing the linebacker position last week.
Yeah.
Seemed like he had a really nice game, really with film study, knew exactly what they want to do in certain situations, some screens and different things. Kind of talk about Michael Baskerville and his play the last couple of games.
Yeah. You know, Mike was the 5'8" defensive player of the year. We were recruited by Evangel High School.
Great high school, Coach. Great high school.
Yeah, that's right. I went there to get a quarterback. I should have got me a running back. But anyway, Mike has tremendous instinct. I'll give you an example. And you saw the film. We were in man coverage. He was man-to-man on the tight end. The back was wide, and the back ran a swing route. Michael saw it, came off the tight end, and made a great tackle in space. Just instincts, you know. Yeah. And Mike has done that since the day he's been here. He's a great young man, great open field tackler. I think he's going to have a great year for us.
Coach, in your press conference yesterday, it was pretty interesting to hear when you were going through, you know, so many times, especially in the Greg McMahon era, special teams has kind of been so locked down that it kind of gets lost into the shuffle. In the shuffle. But you made a point of talking about how y'all have to be better on punt return. And that's not something that like we've talked about or the fans have talked about a lot. So what are y'all seeing that had you so kind of perturbed in that part of the game?
Well, lost yardage. I mean, we had almost 60 yards of lost yardage.
Wow.
You know, and we can't have that. Now, first of all, we got to catch the ball. And we can't let the ball hit the ground and roll for 10, 12, 13 yards. So we're looking at the way we coach them. It's not the players' fault. We got to coach them better. We got to put them in better positions. We got to get better hold up on the line of scrimmage. We got to get better hold up on the gunners. We got to look at personnel. We got to look at schemes, the way we coach them, the way we practice them. Total revamp of what we're doing. And me and Coach Mack met on yesterday. We have a plan. We're going to practice it twice this week, and hopefully we see a change.
And then, Coach, finally, I'll wrap up with Max Johnson. It's kind of funny how far things can come, right? I mean, just last week, everybody's like, oh, I don't know about Max. I don't know about Max. And, he's leading the nation in touchdown passes. How do you feel about his step forward last game and just what he's done thus far this season?
Yeah, I think we put him in better position, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think Max has always been there. I think that now we know what he can do. We know what our guys can do. We're not checking to the line of scrimmage. We're not hesitant. As soon as he sees a coverage, he knows where he's going with the football. I used to say, just look for Keyshawn. Now it's look for Dion. Now it's look for Jack. I walked in the quarterback room yesterday, and I told the quarterback, I said, hey, man, I'm sorry to get enough great receivers, so we ought to throw to them. We try to do a better job next time. They all start laughing.
I mean, they're all over the place right now. It's kind of crazy. Coach, does Kiner? Do you think Kiner in the starter running back?
Well, no. Ty's still our starter, but as you know, we use a 3-man, 4-man rotation. You're gonna see Amani Goodwin this week.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully those guys can play. And hopefully Trey Bradford gets eligible. We haven't found anything yet on Trey Bradford yet, but he's practicing. And as soon as he's eligible, we're gonna play him too.
Well, Coach, thank you so much, man. Y'all kick ass and enjoy Competition Tuesday.
Thank God. Go Tigers.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir. Going to Starkville this weekend for a high noon. Well, I guess East Conference. The Central, 11 a.m. here.
High noon, huh?
Well, I mean, it is high noon in some parts of the country.
Real quick, though, like as we know, the starter at running back doesn't really matter. Like it's never really mattered. Like if your name's the starter at that position, a lot of positions it matters. It doesn't really matter at running back. The only thing it matters for is like being able to run out of the tunnel and get your name announced.
It's fair, but it is also a bit symbolic, though. I think it is a bit symbolic. And I get like Kiner's still going to play a ton, and he could still be getting those fourth quarter
for TDP
carries.
it is, and that's great. And TDP did a fantastic job in pass protection.
Yeah,
we
like
pointed
we said.
that out a couple of times. But I'm saying, like, whoever the starter was, like, that doesn't matter because it's going to be a rotation. And I'm hoping to see that rotation with a couple of young guys that got some extra juice to them. And then, look, if Ty wants to come in and give you the tough yards, or if he wants to come in, and that's something he's got to continue to prove with the tough yards thing, but he's got to come in and give you a third down protection. I think last week showed that he can thrive in that as well. So it's going to be a 3-man rotation. Doesn't really matter who the starter is, but I'd love to see everybody get some carries and see what these young guys can do in SEC play.
Yeah, excited to see Goodwin back. I mean, 21 yards, right? The only time we got to see him. It's so funny. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We got to go to break. When we get back, let's close out hour number 1 here on OTP.